Hey guys, it's Delicia from cigarvixen.com, and today I'm going to be smoking a Cuban cohiba, or am I? I'm actually going to be taking a look at two different cohibas, one real, one fake. And for the sake of argument, I'll give you a look at them. You're going to be able to pick out the fake one because after about a month of sitting in my humidor, this little fake one here has just really started to show its true colors. I don't know what kind of tobacco is being used on this one, but it's obviously not holding up and not as beautiful as the real thing here. But to give a little bit of history into the name, cohibas are, as you probably know already, the flagship for the Habano brand. When most of us think of smoking a Cuban, cohiba is the first brand that comes to mind, which is also the reason that it probably is the #1 most counterfeited cigar that's out there. And so after receiving a lot of questions from people on, how do I tell if this is a real or a fake, I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of point some of those obvious features out. Now, the Cohiba brand itself is actually, it was started in the 1960s, 1966 to be exact, and it was Fidel Castro's brand of choice, which was made at that time at the secret El Laguito factory in Cuba, top secret location type of thing, and was only used for heads of state, different gifts for diplomats, things of that nature, and then in the 80s became more of a regular production available for everybody else. And so from that time, the Cohiba brand itself has gone through a few different changes. There's been about 3 that I'm aware of that have come out, and they've changed just slightly. There are some details that I'll go over to be able to point out the fakes. Now, this one here is a pretty good job as far as the band is concerned. If you'll notice on the real Cohiba, there's the raised lettering, so it says Cohiba in the gold, and the gold is very pronounced. It's a very rich color gold. It looks very regal. This one here on the fake, it's kind of a little cheesy gold. It looks kind of more like I don't know, like just a completely different shade of gold in my opinion. It is slightly raised, so they have come up a little bit better with the counterfeits as far as making it look a little bit more real. So it is slightly raised, but it's just not as clean as this one. And if you'll notice the width on the gold around the actual Cohiba itself, it's a little bit thicker on this fake one than it is on the real thing. If you can see the kind of the millimeters, I don't know what it comes down to, but it's a lot thinner on this one than it is on this one here. Now, as far as the squares are concerned, on the most updated band, there's featuring 3 rows on top of the actual Cohiba band, and then if you turn it around, it goes down to 5 rows of, and they should be, I've seen some fakes that are more circular, so it should never be a circle. They're always squared, and this one has done a good job about duplicating that. But if you look at the details, this one looks more like kind of a faded, washed out version, so the black is very dull. It looks, up close it just looks kind of cheesy. The other really dead giveaway is on the back. If you look at it, on the real one, you shouldn't really even see any type of irregularity. It should match up pretty darn close. And on this one, you'll notice that they just kind of slapped this together with the glue, and it's not even edged up properly. The other main obvious dead giveaway is if you look at the actual, all bands aside, if you were to take the bands off and you just look at the sticks themselves, this one is just a beautiful leaf. It has, it's a beautiful golden, light amber color. The veins are noticeable, but they're very subtle. There's not any harsh lines or anything. It's almost seamless. You do notice them, but it's almost like looking at a piece of silk. It's just a beautiful thing. And if you touch them, they're going to be consistently firm with just a little bit of give, but they're pretty firm, throughout. You're also looking for the kind of a triple type of a cap here, and just again, very, very seamless. Now on the foot of this one, every Cohiba that you'll pick up, if it's a real one, will have, it almost looks like it's cut with a laser. It's perfect. There's no shag to it. It's just a nice, clean cut to the edge. Now, if we take a look at this one, right away, the color is just nasty. It's very inconsistent. Like I mentioned, this one has it's been sitting in my humidor and it has not been doing well. It's just kind of gotten all wrinkly almost. I mean, I don't know what kind of leaf this is or what the deal is, but even just right off the bat, it only has one cap. So this one again has the triple here, and this one only has one. So that's one thing that kind of you can look for. Even if this looked a little bit smoother, you would want to identify, that cap as well. And then if you look at the coloration on this, it's just very inconsistent. There's dark spots, there's light spots. When I'm touching it here, there's some sponginess to it. It's a little too soft in certain areas. And then right off the bat, look at the difference between the foot on these. So you have, again, this one that's just super clean. This one has a lot of jagged shagginess to it, just kind of sloppy cut. That's the main giveaways on this. And then the size, which it's hard to compare the size unless you have a real one that you're looking at, but this one is supposed to be the Robusto and it's a little bit off. It's smaller, it's kind of oddly shaped, and again, just if you can really see the foot of this one, it's crooked. It's just not dead on, as this one is 100% just clean. So those are like the main features that you can look at if you're, getting a Cuban from somebody that says they have, I have real ones for you. I have picked this one up when I was on vacation down in Mexico, actually in Ensenada, and I went into the main tourist zone, and pretty much every shop that I went into, whether it was for purses or jewelry, they all said, "Oh, I have Cubans." And I said, "Okay, well, let's take a look at them." So I looked at a variety of them, and one place actually had some Cubans that I'd never even heard of, so it was pretty interesting. But the lounge that I bought this one from was actually a really nice cigar lounge, and they did a pretty good job on masking, the Cubans that they had there. And so I picked this one up for the sake of, doing a video, but it still obviously is just not the real thing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to light this real one up, because another dead giveaway is when you actually smoke it. If you're familiar with smoking a Cohiba, the flavors are second to none. So it has a very pronounced flavor profile, and so I'm going to go over that with you as well. And then we'll take a look at the inside of this one and just kind of see, what the makeup is and why it's so spongy and just what's going on inside of it. So, I mean, look at just an effortless cut. Perfect little cap that just, comes right off. Just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And just for fun, let's try and cut the cap off this one. Let's see, that just kind of comes apart. You're getting a lot of remnants that are, falling out of here. It's already, coming apart from here. So again, who knows what kind of tobacco this is and where it came from. Yeah, this one has that classic woodsy, little bit of a cedar profile, little hint of kind of a mild pepper to the foot of it. This one doesn't really have anything. I mean, I'm really not picking up any scent other than kind of a musty earth. So definitely not the same thing. Ideally, when lighting this, it'd be nice to have the long either cedar spill or cedar matches, just because of the amount of time that you want to take to toast the foot on this one, and because this is such a fine and delicate, wrapper, it does burn real easy on the sides. So you want to, really keep keep it away from the flame and just let that natural heat come up and start to toast it. But it happened to be all out of cedar spills and matches, so see, right away on this one you get a little bit of a honey, pick up a little hint of kind of a floral background to it with just a nice amount of cedar, very light, but that taste is, I mean, it cannot be duplicated. So I'm kind of scared to light this other one up. I don't know what it's going to do or what it's going to taste like, but I think I'll just try it just for the sake of comparing. So hopefully it's not anything that's toxic or anything. Who knows? Okay, so now we'll go ahead and light up this fake one and just see what it tastes like. Just getting like real black at the bottom, just like, I mean, it just kind of has a funky, letting out a weird aroma, kind of just like charred old wood or something, not very pleasant. It's like sucking through a straw. Yeah, this has a very unpleasant taste, shockingly. There's like a weird citrus, but it's kind of, I don't know, definitely different than the Cohiba, the real one. That Cohiba, again, having the nice honey, very mellow, mild cedar. This one just has just an unpleasant, I don't even know what you'd call it. It's just very kind of a pungent aroma, kind of a funky wood, but more of like a mildew, like a wood that's been left out in the rain and then you're trying to light it, you know, puts out this smell. It kind of reminds me of that. You can see that there's some holes. Let me finish this little tip. Yeah, just not very pleasant. And if you look at the foot, it looks like there's holes, you know, right inside of there, which again is just from that tobacco not being the long filler. I'm guessing, I haven't looked inside of this yet, but I'm guessing it's not the long filler. There's probably a lot of remnants in here, and just again giving it just a funky kind of a. It looks like either, no, it's not beetles. It just looks like there's, like somebody poked like a paper clip and made these little holes. There's like 4 of them in here. So very weird. I'm not gonna keep smoking it. It's obviously a very different taste, not anything like the real Cohiba. So again, if you have been duped and you've bought some fake Cubans, because, you know, unless you're a total cigar nerd and you pay attention to all these little details, it's hard to pick them out sometimes. This one did a really good job as far as the band, unless you really look at the details. One other thing I forgot to point out is the H on the Habana on this fake one. It's kind of not all the way complete, like there's no line crossing the H, and on the real one there is I'll show you that one in a second, but that's just one other little tidbit to look for. Unfortunately, there's no guide for all the different types of fakes that are out there, because there's a lot of different ones that people, you know, recreate. But if you really get a feel for how the real one should look and taste, then the taste should be the dead giveaway. If you light it up and it tastes funky, it doesn't have that nice natural, you know, honey, sweet cedar, that mildness to it. It's a very distinctive taste, and if you're not getting that, then most likely it's going to be a fake one that you're smoking. So I'm going to go ahead and get a few more puffs on the real one. Put this down. And I sat that one down for that entire time, and I mean, look at the beautiful burn line that it has. Nice ash to it. You pick up a nice kind of a sweet cherry, a little bit of floral on the retrohale even, very mild. This is a very elegant smoke, something that obviously is, I think, is worth the price point, especially if you're getting a real one. You definitely need to look out, you know, for your source on where you're picking these up at. If you're, obviously I'm speaking to those of you that are in the United States. If you're outside of the United States, it's not obviously such an ordeal to get a real Cuban, but those of you that are in the States, just be wary of, you know, where your source is coming from. But yeah, just a beautiful, inviting aroma, very pleasant. Again, that backbone of a cedar, nice honey, kind of a sweet, dried cherry, a little bit of floral. Just a really, really elegant cigar. So hopefully that helped. And if there's any experiences that you've had, you know, feel free to share them. I'm sure all of you at some point have either seen a fake one, picked up a fake one by accident. We'd love to hear from you. Those of us who read everybody's stuff, I mean, it's very helpful to have little tidbits from everybody who smokes. So feel free to post your comments on that one. And as always, I thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and check out the website, cigarvixen.com, and have a great day.